It's an intensive and interactive two-day workshop which provides people with a set of techniques to use when they're put on the spot. It may be in a meeting, or if they're in an interview or giving a presentation, or perhaps just informally. You're put on the spot. The Think on Your Feet techniques will help you to collect your thoughts, structure them, and then get them across with clarity, brevity, and impact. When we communicate, we need to be clear so that people will understand. We also need to be brief. Most of us have too much information, so keeping it brief is value in itself. And finally, we need to make an impact so that people will retain what we've said, and provided they agree with it, they will act upon it. So the workshop gives a set of structures for organising and communicating your thoughts. On top of that, we give some techniques for making what you have to say relevant. We have some techniques for dealing with really tough and unexpected questions. And then we show you how to give extra impact to those really key points. All of that makes up the two-day Think on Your Feet workshop. So how have people benefited from coming on Think on Your Feet? Well, they benefit in many different situations, and whether it's formal or informal, where they have to collect their thoughts quickly, they find that they can communicate effectively. One of the great benefits for people is once they've experienced it a few times and seen the effect it has on their listeners, then their confidence grows. So often people say to us after the workshop, I feel much more confident now about talking at this presentation, going to this important meeting, and so on and so forth. So confidence is a key benefit. But the other key thing about communicating with people is that generally you want them to understand and often be persuaded and act on whatever it is you're telling them. So using the Think on Your Feet techniques, people find that not only are they understood, but they get a much more favourable response from the people they're talking to. So both in terms of confidence and in being persuasive and getting people to act on what you're saying, those are the key benefits for using Think on Your Feet. Anyone who needs to communicate effectively and whose success depends on that will benefit from coming on the workshop. Let me explain. It could be very senior managers who need to communicate effectively with their peers, with clients, with customers, with the people in their organisation, but also they have to talk to the media very frequently, and so they find the Think on Your Feet techniques very useful in those situations. Middle managers, junior managers, shop floor people, they all need to communicate with each other, with those above and below them and so on. Again, they find these techniques useful. Also, if you're in sales or customer service, you'll find that the Think on Your Feet techniques will be a huge benefit too. So almost everyone can benefit from Think on Your Feet. We find when people have come on the workshop, they go away with a set of techniques and skills that they can begin to use day one, as soon as they get back to the workplace. But that's not the end of it, really. What we find they then need to do, and they do, is to continue to develop and build on those skills so that over a period of time their competence increases, but also their confidence in using them goes up. Until we find often that people end up using these techniques without even having to think about it. And so they just become the part of the way they do things. And in that sense, they become better communicators by using Think on Your Feet techniques.